Alright guys, so I'm going to show you how to rig a head for a creature, a wolf type of character. This is one of our lower poly game models. We did a real-time little cinematic teaser game thing for our game that we're working on. It's just a little generic one, and some of the models are pretty low poly, so they're all like kind of real-time. This is the dude right here in context. Arrgh. I'm going to show you how to actually set up his bone system real quick in his head, and then I'll switch really quickly to the six-legged beast. So do pay attention and take notes as I go, because this is going to happen a little bit on the faster side, just because I have things to do and a wife to hang out with. Alright, so let's take a look here. So let's go to animation real quick. There we go. We're going to go to our joints right here. We're going to set up our joints real quick. And again, this isn't the quadruped wolf that I gave some of you guys in my classes. This is just a wolf head. We're mainly just focusing on how to set up the wolf head. You should have your spline IK set in if it's a quadruped. If it's a biped, you will use a FK spline. I'm going to turn on scale to compensate off and variable bone radius settings off. Whenever you're making a bone, you want to do that. So we're going to place our bone at every third edge here. I go here, and then here we have the base. So with every 3 edges set in, you want to put in a bone. So you get some nice accordion effect going on. I'm going to put one bone right by the jaw hinge. So this is just like as if you were making a human head, believe it or not, just as an extended snout. And right from here, we would go and make our jaw. Now we can keep it pretty simple. We can go straight out to here. That makes life a little bit easy for us. Hit enter, and I'm going to click at the top of the head here. I'm going to make one more bone here, and then one more bone here for where the ears are at. The only reason I'm using this guy is so you can see in context how the ears work. So the reason why I just pushed the bone out here, just make it easier. I could have gone straight, but I just left it bent. I'm going to put one bone here, and that's where you would parent your eyes under. If you saw my video on how to rig a human head, it works the same way. So let's go to X-ray or joints real quick. Turn X-ray off for a second. Wrong one. And then X-ray joints. Now if you don't see it, that means my joints are off. So let's go to show joints. There we go. And we're going to grab the root here and move him inside of our wolf at this time. And because Maya gets confused, it's not perfect, we're going to turn on X-ray joints there and get that guy back on again. There we go. So we got our joints set up in here. That's for the eyes. That's for the top of the head. Now at the top of the head, you can make bones go out from here, or just parent constraint the bones as you will. But in this case, we'll go to the front view of our guy, and again we'll do 2 joints. And he's not in his default pose, but I'm going to leave him for now, so this won't be completely symmetrical or even. And from here I can click on the joint, and I can go and make the base for the ear. And if I want it to be symmetrical, in this case we don't have to worry about it, you can mirror your joints. Let's go to switch to animation real quick. Skeleton, and let's go to mirror joint, and then we set it to X and Y, and you hit apply, and the guy should show up on the other side. And because my coordinates aren't the norm right now, we'll go in here and control Z that one more time. So I'll go click on this guy, click here, hit enter, click on the tip of the bone, and let's see if it works this time. There we go. Cool. I didn't have the tip of the bone selected. Close that out. So we have this guy here, and again, he's not symmetrical. My guy's in position, and you do want to have your model default pose, but just for quick one-offs here, leave him as is. I can do wireframe on shaded to see where his geometry is going to display and where it's going to be at. And you always want to make sure you have your stuff connected or in the right perspective here. My guy's a little bit far out, so we can grab these guys real quick and move them over. Hit the F key, fit them into view. Let's put them into, oops, the right position here. Move them up. Double check them in 3D space. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. And I could probably move the bones in a little bit closer, but I'm going to leave them for now. Oh, here's one little extra guy. I didn't do enough undos. So with that there, now we can actually go in here. I'll just eyeball this. And I can move both these up. Now we can go in here, and I can actually place my bones positioning where I need it according to my wireframe of my model. There's my wireframe. So you notice he doesn't have a lot of density here. A lot of you guys have lower poly models. This is one reason I thought this guy might be good. So I can go in here to the front view, and we can start building out from here. Click on here. And I'll go, remember I'm skipping 2 edges here to get good deformations, and finally at the end. And you want to make these guys FK. So you want to use the FK tool, or use the FK tool I gave you guys in class to be able to make this guy work nicely. And again, I'm just building mine out. I could have mirrored that, but he's not symmetrical or in a nice and default position, so it's not necessarily going to work. See, this is my selection being weird. It showed me that it selected the bone, and then it decided that it would not connect it, and that's fine. We can connect it after the fact. Alright, so with this guy set up, let's go in here, and I can do that through perspective if I ever run into that problem. Notice it happened here too with this guy. Hey everybody! He's a bastard. He doesn't have any friends. Alright, oh that's jacked up, man. Alright, so we're going to go in here and let me zoom in. I'll just parent these real quick. And hit the P key. And we don't really need, actually, this secondary bone, so I'm going to do Control Z real quick. So we can get rid of this guy. And then now grab him. And a quick cleanup lesson here. And we can just hit P if we want to. Directly connect that to there. And these guys do the same thing. I'll get rid of you. No one cares about you. Buddy, you have no friends either. Selection denied. Try that again. Delete. Over here. Delete. And just grab this, grab here, hit P. There we go. We can solve our problems real quickly. So sorry about that. A little bit of selection issues. I've been actually having this all night. Had to reboot Maya a couple times, and you guys probably will run into that sometimes. So I'm going to quickly fix this guy. Put him in position. Again, I don't recommend doing it necessarily like this in the beginning, because you do want to make sure your guy's in default pose. I'm doing this really quickly with this guy, and you can do mirror your position once you position it correctly the way you want it. So you can do FK connect now, or just do a FK controllers in here, make sure they're zeroed out and the rotations are the same. And you guys have seen me use that FK connect in class. It's a great tool on Creative Crash, a little advertisement. And that's pretty much how to set up a quick wolf's head. And from here you can go in here and let's make sure we don't have any selection issues. And again, we do. Awesome. It doesn't want that bone. What I'm doing is trying to do is select, and again didn't do it again. Crap. The jawbone. See if it works this time. Nope. I must select that jawbone. That jawbone, and what we can do here, we can actually attach the tongue to this, and then you can parent the teeth to that jaw, and the teeth on the top can be parented to like one of these bones. So when he rotates its head, it moves accordingly. Okay. Alright, so that's a quick way to set that up. So again, the teeth go here underneath the jaw. The teeth on the top can be parented underneath the top of the head. And your eyes will be parented to this bone here. And then you can do an aim constraint for the eye. So it's just like a regular head for a human. It's just an extended snout, pretty much. Now you can, if you want to, even add some extra bones on the front end. Yay, it selects now, jerk. And we can make one more bone that goes straight to the snout, or even has a couple in here in the snout region. And you can do some limited pivoting here for like a snout wrinkle. Now, what I like to do is just mainly keep that as blend shape, because it's just a little bit easier to control and to get a distinct shape that you want. But if you want, you can go in here too and have it so this bone here just kind of moves a little bit, and it carries the weight only in this particular region. So that's also what you can add with the extended snout. But remember, you have eyes, possible snout, jaw, and we have the head, 3 bones for the neck. Again, that can get a little bit, at least one more bone if it's a denser model. FK controls for the ears. Okay, so I'm just laying this out for my class here. If you want to get more creative, you can also make one for the Adam's apple, which has a controller parent constraint, and you can move this around when he's swallowing, maybe he's eating meat or something, and you can have this guy parent constrained in here, or double grouped, and when it's double grouped, it's parented underneath these bones. That way you don't necessarily get a direct connection. Now, direct connections are legit. I mean, you can leave them, and it's easier to trace your problems and mistakes. But sometimes having a free-floating bone, if you have to get rid of something, you can just get rid of the group and not necessarily get rid of a chain or a parenting order. That is about it. Just thought I'd give you guys a quick theory on animal magnetism. Actually, I'm going to add one more thing here. Please be patient with me. Please hold all your calls and keep your hands and arms inside the vehicle at all times. This is another thing I showed in a advanced rigging class, and I'm going to mention this real quick because I thought it was cool. She wanted a good deformation and bend, this particular person, in the neck of her character. Now, he's a little lower poly, and it's a little harder to get this. But what you can do is you can also add bones like this. So when your character bends his neck, you can do an STK. Let's see if this bone gets selected. There we go. You can do an STK so that pushes in here, and if you painted the weights accordingly, we can get some bendable flesh. And we can get like a little flesh knob in here. You can even do this with humans with enough geometry. So when he bends his neck backwards, these bones will squish together, and if they're weighted correctly, you're going to get a nice fold in the back of the neck. I don't know if you guys have seen that with really big, buffed guys. You'll see that. So we did this for this one student. She was working on her thesis at the Academy of Art, and we pinched that area together, and her stuffed animals came out amazing. She had these stuffed animals that had great folds and everything, and she just, Winnie Wang, I must mention her name in my video, she just won the award for Best Rigger, Rigging Reel at Best of Show, which I'm so proud of her. She's really freaking awesome. Used to be our intern too, and she's amazing. Alright, so that's a quick lesson, again, how to set up the dynamic properties for your creature, your quadruped, but I thought I'd add in a little bit of extra so you can actually I'm really trying to inspire you guys to be creative and just really try to think outside the box so you can get some good concepts and good ideas and explore. And that's the only way you're going to get better as a rigger, if you experiment. Alright,